Starting a business comes with a lot of moving parts, and one of the most common questions we get is, what legal documents do I need for my business? But they rarely follow up with an equally important question: when do I need to put these documents into play? Answering this not only helps you manage your legal budget, it also ensures that you get ahead and stay ahead of hidden risks and liabilities. So today, I'm walking you through a clear, simple sequence of the legal documents every business should have in place, and when to prioritize them. Let's get right into it. The very first thing you'll need to do, day one, is file your articles of organization for an LLC or articles of incorporation for a corporation. This is what creates your business under state law. It's filed with the Secretary of State, and until it's filed, you're not a protected business entity, you're simply an entrepreneur with a promising idea, and we want to get you to that next step. So before you start selling, signing contracts, or marketing your services, file your articles. Once that's submitted, you'll want to apply for your EIN, your Employer Identification Number, through the IRS. You'll need this to open a business bank account, hire employees or contractors, or make certain tax elections like the S-Corp status. This should happen immediately after your articles are confirmed by the state. Don't wait until tax season or payroll starts. Knock this step out early. Now here's where a lot of business owners skip ahead. Don't make the same mistake. Draft your operating agreement as soon as the business is formed. This document is a blueprint for your entire business structure. It lays out who owns what, how voting is handled, how profits are shared, and how the business handles major changes, like if someone leaves, retires, or falls ill. Even if you're a solo owner, an operating agreement can benefit you. It helps prove you're running a legitimate business, which will keep your limited liability shield intact. Plus, banks and investors may need to review it before they consider working with you. Next, take care of your internal governance documents. This includes things like initial resolutions or organizational minutes, records of your early decisions, like appointing officers, adopting the operating agreement, and approving your bank account. If you're running a corporation, these are required. If you're an LLC, especially with more than one member, these can be just as important for keeping your limited liability shield intact and having an airtight paper trail to avoid misunderstandings between owners. Once you've got that in place, it's time to open a business bank account. Do this before offering your goods and services for sale. One of the most common and costly mistakes I see is people mixing personal and business funds. That's the best way to invalidate the limited liability protection that business owners covet, and that in turn exposes your personal assets. Set up a dedicated account, run your revenue through it, pay your expenses from it, and keep it isolated. Now, if you've already got a name, a logo, or any content out in the world, this is the moment to think about trademark and copyright protection. You want to file your applications as soon as your brand or content goes public, not after someone else copies it or a dispute arises. Trademarks cover your name, your logo, and your slogan. Copyright protects things like website content, videos, design work, and even software code. But registration isn't always enough. If you're working with outside designers, developers, or content creators, you need to have IP ownership agreements in place before the work begins. Paying for a logo doesn't automatically mean you own it. Make sure ownership of all created content, everything from analytics and CRM data to content roadmaps and social media posts, is clearly assigned to your business, and that any licensing terms are documented if you're letting someone else use your content. Now, once you start growing your team, onboarding becomes an important checkpoint. Before you onboard anyone, employee or contractor, have the right agreement in place. Employment agreements outline responsibilities, pay structure, and IP ownership. Contractor agreements do this as well, and they also help you avoid misclassifying contractors as employees, which can lead to audits or penalties. This is one of those areas where a quick template won't cut it. Get something tailored and get it in writing before day one on the job. You'll also want to have NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, ready to go for situations where you're sharing confidential information. Think new hires, outside consultants, or potential business partners. Ideally, you'll have these signed before you share anything sensitive. These agreements need to be reasonable in scope and duration. If a clause is too broad, courts can void the whole NDA, so you should check state precedent when drafting. If you provide services to clients or work with vendors on an ongoing basis, consider putting a master service agreement into place at the start of the relationship. An MSA is a kind of meta contract that defines the scope of the relationship at a high level. That way, you only need to negotiate the scope of each individual job using a simpler contract called a statement of work. It saves you time, protects your terms, and avoids misunderstandings down the road. Now, if you're entering into a partnership with another business, a co-founder, or even a spouse, put it in writing before money changes hands or any startup paperwork is filed. A partnership or joint venture agreement helps define contributions, responsibilities, and what happens if big decisions need made. It might feel formal in the early stages, but it's a lot easier than trying to sort things out later when expectations don't align. Lastly, if your business has more than one owner or you're building something that will eventually be sold or passed on, you want to put together a buy-sell agreement and a basic succession plan early on. Don't wait until someone wants to retire or has a medical emergency. Having a plan in place ensures that ownership can transfer smoothly and the business avoids the financial pains that uncertainty brings. So to recap, it's not just about having the right documents, it's about having them at the right time, when they're most protective and before they're urgently needed. If you're not sure which documents you need or what might be missing, reach out to us. We'd love to talk. Schedule a consultation and we'll build your legal roadmap together.